A scientist is shown at the start of the movie. He was transferring a mysterious creature into his body. Afterwards, his eyes are turned blue, and he is transformed into a werewolf, and the scene drops here with this. Then the major character named Lang Jun of the movie is shown, who is delivering the goods in his car. Then Lang Jun listens to the news. Some people were inexplicably disappearing in the city. Meanwhile, Lang Jun receives the call of his uncle Zhang, and he wishes him a happy birthday. Then he witnesses an upside-down car on his way. He attempts to rescue the man from that car. When he moves to that car, then that creature seen at the start of the movie transfers into the body of Lang Jun, coming out of the body of that boy. Consequently, he is also transformed into a werewolf. Then a secret military force approaches there. It was looking like they had come to capture him with full preparation. But it was not enough. As Lang Jun transforms into a werewolf, he then kills everyone there with no difficulty. But a female fighter fires at him with a green laser. Then he immediately ran away. But that force's leader was not at all happy about this, because he was in search of that person who might adjust to that creature perfectly. So he had not yet found a man as such. On the other side, Lang Jun eats strangely, like an animal, as he approaches home. And he also behaves like the animals. In the end, he also vomits because of overeating. He glimpses the reflection of a werewolf as he looks himself into the mirror. Consequently, he is so afraid. And he loses consciousness in his bathtub. Then he observes some changes in himself as he wakes up. His listening skill had greatly increased. At the same time, he listens to the news, which was broadcasting that the scratches seen before 12 years have been found. They found the same searches last night. Knowing this, Lang Jun gets very upset. When Lang Jun goes to his job in the morning, then his boss shows his anger towards him, because he had left his stuffed goods car on the road last night. Later, Lang Jun's boss tries to hit him with a can in rage, but he hits it back. As a result, that can strike the wall. And it is hit on the wall so forcefully that it causes the crack in the wall. His boss is very scared after witnessing this. And Lang Jun leaves that place without uttering a word there. Meanwhile, it is seen that the man has kept an eye on Lang Jun, and Lang Jun also saves a little girl on the road from facing an accident. And he also recalls his childhood with this, where two kids were teasing him. But Lang Jun is unable to take any action because of his feebleness. At the same time, his friend saves him by coming there. In the meantime, he brings to his memory that there is his friend's boxing match today. So he instantly moves to view the match of his friend, where it is witnessed that his friend wins the match from her rival. In spite of this, her rival pushes her down. At the same time, Lang Jun catches her, moving ahead. Meanwhile, Lang Jun's boss's son comes there. He challenges Lang Jun to the boxing match, which he accepts. Lang Jun loses his senses with one punch as their fight is held. Force's leader is seen at the same time, who has still kept an eye on Lang Jun. It is also known here that the scientist shown at the beginning of the movie is not anyone else but Lang Jun's father, who died because of a cause. And Lang Jun's mother had also died due to some disease. Consequently, Lang Jun was all alone from his childhood on. It is also revealed that Lang Jun was the last hope of a company for their experiment, because that creature in the body of Lang Jun had fully attached itself to his body. So the force's leader asks his members to capture Lang Jun as soon as possible. Contrarily, Lang Jun was at the home of his friend when he woke up. She asks, "Lang Jun, why did you take that challenge in spite of my forbidding?" He is telling this to her when he notices a bandage on the face of his friend, which belonged to a company named Sanulian. For this company, in fact, Lang Jun's father and that lady used to serve. That female soldier who had tried to fire her gun at Lang Jun that night. After this, Lang Jun's friend shows him the photo of her brother, who had disappeared in a very mysterious way. Lang Jun tells her that he has witnessed her brother in the same company. At the same place, the members of that company arrive there to capture Lang Jun. Now Lang Jun hides under their car to keep himself hidden, and he leaves his cell phone in their car to track them down. Later, Lang Jun's friend asks him, "Why did they come here?" Lang Jun tells her that they had come here to capture me, because I have a creature on which they are researching. Lang Jun goes to his uncle named Zhang to get more information about this. When Lang Jun goes to his uncle's laboratory to meet him, he notices that it is set on fire. He protects him from the fire and asks his uncle Zhang about that company. But he has no knowledge of this. After this, when Lang Jun is returning back, then it is seen that someone is chasing him again. At this time, he captures him, and he takes that boy to her friend. He is told by that boy that he does not want to chase him, but he just wants to know about that company. So he was chasing him, and he was also hacking with this, who had caught dangerous criminals within a moment. So he takes that boy on his team. Because that boy delivers all the information about that company to Lang Jun, he tells him, it is such a company famous for its oil trading. But there is also a dark aspect to this company, as they trade illegal chemical weapons from other countries. And it is the same company where Lang Jun's father and uncle used to serve. Meanwhile, he also tells Lang Jun's friend that he had contacted him before her brother's disappearance. He also says, all missing people are given a chance to play a game before missing. Lang Jun's friend also agrees with this because her brother also got the same offer. The next day, Lang Jun was moving somewhere with his friend. At the same time, he receives the call of the same boy, who had delivered all data about that company to him. Then the commander and his military approach there. Before this, he gives more details. Lang Jun gets ready to go with him in order to rescue his friend. Lang Jun moves away, sitting with him in their car. But his friend follows that car in the meantime. And she stops that car. As a great boxer, she faces the members of that force there. And she flees soon after rescuing Lang Jun from them. Then both go to the Uncle Zhang and ask him about all the matters pertaining to him. Now his Uncle Zhang reveals the truth and says, he and his father used to serve in that company, where he wanted to manufacture such medication through which they could cure any disease. When they all learned about the death of Lang Jun's father, they were all dejected, so they also stopped working on their project. Now Lang Jun asks the cause of his father's death after hearing Zhang's facts. He reflects on this. When his mother died because of one disease, as a result, his father lost his courage and barred him from working with that company anymore. But those company's runners did not like your father's decision. So they kill your father after locking him in a room and setting fire to it. Knowing this, Lang Jun becomes so aggressive, but Uncle Zhang forbids him, saying, don't take any steps against that company. Because it was a very powerful company. Meanwhile, the owner of that company arrives with his men. And he kills Zhang before Lang Jun. Lang Jun was enraged, witnessing his uncle dying before him. So he is also transformed into a werewolf one more time. And he begins to fight with all. Lang Jun had gotten the green laser shot while fighting. So he had also returned to his normal state. Before this, they are able to catch him, but Lang Jun's friend pushes him down from the window, so those people may not catch him. That boy also approaches with this, and he forbids Lang Jun to take any step because they were not ready properly until now. He explains to him, they cannot harm your friend until they catch you. Hearing this, Lang Jun trusts him and accompanies. Now Lang Jun leaves this place and begins to miss his old memories, sitting on the beach. He also casts a glance at his locket, in which his and his father's photos were stuck. And he had also worn the gloves with it. When he shows all to that boy, then he understands as the place where his father loses his breaths. There was a place. Now they move to that place. There are discovered some marks of werewolves. When Lang Jun reaches there, he discovers a box there and opens it with the help of his locket. He finds a tape in that box, re-recorded for him by his father. He explains to Lang Jun about an experiment in which he had manufactured a drug to rescue his mother. First of all, he applied that experiment to himself, and his mother died before this. Then he stopped that experiment. But the company started to use that drug as a weapon. Due to this, many people lost their lives. So they all decide that they will attempt to stop all illegal pursuits by that company. On the other side, it is seen that the head of that company was in the laboratory of Zhang. And he was erasing all proofs from there. Then they find an object there. That company's head is killed as he was glimpsing that object. On the other side, Lang Jun had reached that laboratory of experiments. But they all end the security guards of that place with the help of their weapons. Then Lang Jun's friend is also shown there. She also glimpses her brother in the adjoining room when she observes. Seeing her brother, she assures him that Lang Jun will surely come to free them from here. Many people enter there when Lang Jun comes into that laboratory. But he ends all because of the superpower of that werewolf in him. After this, they had to collect 3 proofs against this company. So they all move in different directions. Lang Jun reaches that place to rescue his friend. When he was finding the keys to rescue his friend, then Uncle Zhang appeared there and told him, they have made that medicine with his blood. The medicine that Lang Jun's father wished to manufacture before this. Lang Jun uttered a single word, then the video cassette of his uncle and father was played, in which Zhang wanted to make those chemical weapons along with the company's members. But Lang Jun's father was stopping him from doing so. So he left Lang Jun's father in that room, which was set on fire. Watching that video, Lang Jun understood that the manipulator of that company is not anyone else but his uncle Zhang, who had taken the life of his father. Meanwhile, that company's head assistant also comes, who begins to tell that the manipulator of that company is not anyone else but Zhang. She was telling the truth to Lang Jun because Zhang had also killed the company's head. So that assistant begins to fire at Zhang, but he is not becoming worried about this. Because the medicine made from the blood of Jun had been injected into his body before, he becomes transformed into a werewolf, and Lang Jun also turns into one. Later, a great fight is held between them there. During the fight, both come outside. Contrarily, Lang Jun's friend and her brother also come outside. Now, Lang Jun's friend ties a rope around the neck of Zhang to rescue him, but Zhang gets no harm from this. On the contrary, he wounds Lang Jun's friend. Before this, he killed her, then Lang Jun pulled the rope upward. Lang Jun gives an electric cable to his friend. Using this, they end with Zhang. In the end of the movie, Lang Jun is seen reading a book at his home. It is known by the news that all missing people have been found now. But they all have a mysterious mark on their bodies. However, Lang Jun had exposed the truth about that company to the public. And the film completes with this scene. Thanks for watching.